I'm trying to fix you. Stop moving. So for me, my 4 games for the year, I'm attempting to do this in release order, which I don't believe. I think one of them's going early access, but then we'll be live later. So potentially not in order. I don't care. For me, we've got Crimson Desert, which is going to be the massive single player game being released by Pearl Abyss, the creators of Black Desert Online. And honestly, I've kind of been looking at the game since I caught wind of it a couple of years ago, and I was like, man, this looks really ambitious. This just doesn't look like it's gonna be that good, right? Like they're overhyping it. I don't think they're overhyping it. I think they're, because I'm watching some interviews now with the PR guys. The Crimson Desert looks absolutely insane. Here, I tell you what we'll do. We will bring up the actual YouTube channel. I'm just going to mute this though, right? We're just going to pull it up. We're going to mute it. And then I'm going to talk about Crimson Desert really quickly. So Crimson Desert announced several years ago, and it's crazy the scope that they're going for. One of the things that really excites me about Crimson Desert is it's not actually being developed and made in Unreal Engine 5. That's being designed and developed in their own proprietary engine that they built Black Desert Online on, meaning that they're going to be able to handle these massive sprawling landscapes here in the background way better than the Do Everything engine, because it's literally custom built to do this thing, to have the massive landscapes in the background to handle an MMORPG style game. And the thing that I told my buddy, what makes me so excited about this is, yeah, open world, explore, side quests, all that stuff. Cool, awesome, great. I have said since I've been starting to get into this, I believe this game lives and dies on its combat system. And to my surprise, I believe it was in this one. While YouTube's being YouTube again, not showing some of the chat. I can't control that. I'm sorry, correct, Roy. So we're here to troll you and remind us sometimes crazy can wholesome. What? Yes. And so I've always thought this game, because we've seen massive sprawling games. I mean, Where Winds Meet is massive sprawling, lots of just crap to do and run around. But that's a free-to-play Chinese game. This is going to be a Korean game, full price, $70. It's going to have a storyline. I don't think the storyline is going to be any kind of special. I don't think the narrative is going to be any kind of special. You're probably going to get a couple of characters that you like, maybe if they do their job right. For me, I'm like, this game's going to live and die on its mechanics, right? Everything is going to matter when it comes to how you fight the enemies. I saw the command list shared the other day on somewhere, a YouTube channel that I was watching, and they highlighted the command list. And this is not press X for heavy, or press Y for heavy attack, press X for, or whatever controller you use. I guess for me it would be, yeah, it'd be Y and X. It's not that. It is full-blown controller combinations to pull off different movesets. And I'm like, I tell my buddy, I send this to him, I'm like, bro, they're using the old magics. It's not just X for heavy attack or Y for heavy attack, X for light attack. It's straight up. It is straight up like R1XX, like R1XX, R1, like, to do these different attacks. And I'm like, okay, I now understand why some of the YouTubers that I've been following have said, yeah, journalists have a hard time with this game. Do you have any idea how happy that makes me to hear that journalists are having a hard time with this game because they haven't played a video game that came out before 2010? That is one of my biggest complaints when it comes to a lot of video games. Everybody wants to compare stuff to, like, is it a Souls-like? And I'm like, what does that mean? Because I've never played the Souls games. My buddy describes it to me, and he's like, well, mechanically, this is how they work, you know, heavy attack, Y attack, dodge roll, this, that, and the other thing. I'm like, Bro, they had that in Ocarina of Time in like 97, 98. Like, why would they call it a Souls-like? Why don't they just call it an Ocarina of Time-like or a Zelda-like? Like, what are you talking about? Again, people who haven't played video games since before, 2010. This game here, Crimson Desert, stands to deliver something that I really miss in video games, and that is giving you the utilization of the full controller. You have the controller in your hand. Guess what? Get ready. I think this is going to be an absolute monster of a fighter when people really get into it. This is going to be the open world adventure game, probably more for people who are used to playing fighting games, who are constantly used to button combinations, because that's what I saw in the layouts. Obviously, the game just looks completely incredible. I'm really baffled with what they're doing here, and all of that to say, all of that to me. And the reason that I say all of this is because, my goodness, I can't talk right now, is because a lot of the YouTubers that I'm watching, they've gotten playtests of it. And they're like, yeah, so this is an early build of the game. There've been some issues, but like also the game looks just incredible. It plays really good. They're like, this is wild. And these are guys that have been testing it out for like a year and have had multiple playtests with it. And not only that, Pearl Abyss is not hiding this. They have had multiple playtests at multiple different shows. They are showing this game off, and they're like, this is what we're promising. And realistically, this is going to be a game that I believe is going to be right up my alley. Third person action adventure game. That open world third person action adventure. No, I will not call it an RPG. RPG gets slapped on too many things. Fuck that shit. This is an action adventure game. I'm so down with it. I think that there's obviously crafting elements here. I've heard the leveling is gear based, not level based. And the way that they're going to keep the balance in it, I was just watching an interview where part of the way that they're going to keep the balance in this game is they are going to make it so when you enter different areas of the world, I'm assuming what they mean by areas is like different biomes, you actually have to grab different materials to upgrade your gear with that in order to kind of start doing damage in that biome. And that makes a lot of sense because that way they're basically, I'm not going to be able to play this game the way that I want to play this game. I will figure it out though, where I can just go and just over level and just become a god and just breeze through the storyline, which I will figure out how to do that. That's my goal. I'm going to fire up this game. I'm going to hit that grind set mindset the second that the game lets me. And I'm not going to go back to the story until I trivialize the story, because that's how I love to enjoy stories, because that's just me. And ultimately, this game seems like it's going to deliver on an absolutely massive scale. Why is my chat not showing up? Oh my goodness. The chat's not even on screen, guys. Why? Why is the chat not on screen? So, what do you guys think about Crimson Desert? Have you seen anything about the game? Are you interested in the game? Like, where are you guys coming from with all of this? There we go. Andrew Knapp says, for $5, dude, thank you so much. If they made a game titled Press Y to Win, game journals would still die in the tutorial. Oh, the ick is getting to me. Oh, the ick. Probably, yeah. And I'm liking the direction that I'm seeing with this game, because there seems like that's the other side of this too. This looks like a game. Crimson Desert looks like a game that you can put many hours into. I don't know what that means, but I know that I put a couple 100 hours into Palworld, and it's not half as big as what Crimson Desert is, and doesn't seem like it's going to offer as much. So potentially you could, I mean, this is a game that looks like you could potentially adventure, not play, but like adventure. We'll use that terminology for like 200, 250, 300 hours. This could be your only game. This could be a game that you buy and it's the only game that you play for the rest of the year based off of how large it looks and potentially its enjoyment. And it could be your only game for the year, which is why I'm very much looking forward to Crimson Desert. I think that what the developers did, trying to make a prequel to Black Desert Online, make this another MMO, and they got to a point and they said, this doesn't feel like an MMO, this feels like a single player game. And leadership was like, cool, awesome, make the best single player game that Korea's ever made. And they were like, done. Potentially this is what we're looking at. In the immortal world of Todd Howard, we took out skip trees. They were only lame. Who needs a leveling mechanic in a role-playing game? Oh no. What? I don't understand, Todd Howard. I know what you just said to me. Skill trees. He said skip. We took out skill trees. They were only lame. Who needs a leveling mechanic in a role-playing? Oh my gosh. It just works. Oh man. Is it just me or does Royce remind people of Malcolm from Malcolm in the Middle? Only, minus the genius. Fuck off. My wife and children lately, funny story, have apparently been seeing a lot of people that just look like me or I look like them. And I'm like, guys, what you need to understand about me is when God went into the character creator for me, he picked white guy number 4 and just pressed go. Right? And he's like, look, I'm God. I mean, I get it. I made time, but like, am I really going to spend that much time on you to make you that unique? Like, whatever. I'll give you a gift. Well, the gift of Gab. I'll give you that. Oh boy, everybody loves that gift, right? So yeah, he picked, stock character, white guy number 4, and that's me. I'm white guy number 4 in the character creator, as are other people who look like me. And apparently when I cut my hair just right, I look like Flynn Rider from Tangled. That's what I've been told. But yeah. So what do you guys think about Crimson Desert? I personally think that the game could potentially deliver on something that a lot of people are waiting for. I'm trying to find the screenshot here. It was a Bellular video. I remember now. Because a lot of people want to, I want to know about the mechanics, and I want to find the screenshot where they showed the button combinations, and I don't just want to send it to myself, but I am not able to find the screen. I could have done this before the stream, I'm trying to act somewhat professional, but I chose not to, and so we're just gonna fail. But that is, that's just where I land with this game. I think that this game is going to provide potentially hundreds of hours of entertainment. Yo, what's going on, Dice Comics? I feel like Crimson Desert's going to allow for a couple hundred hours worth of gameplay, and especially if you're like me, where you may only buy one game a year. You may only buy because I don't yes, I enjoy playing games. I love talking about the gaming industry. Even when I'm doing my summertime hobbies, I'm constantly listening to what's going on in the industry because I find that conversation absolutely fascinating. But as far as sitting down and playing just all of the games, no. And I don't want to play all of the games. My time is valuable. I'm going to pick 4. This year, I'm going to pick 4. Usually I'm there's 1, maybe 2. Last year, because I'm a big fan of Ghost of Tsushima, I was look, I'm going to wait for reviews for Ghost of Yotei to come out. Also, that one had a big hurdle for me. I don't play games with female characters, or female lead characters, I should say. I don't play games with female lead characters in them. I don't, never have, not my jam. But because I really liked Ghost of Tsushima, I was willing to give Ghost of Yotei a chance if reviews came out and said something like, oh my gosh, if you thought Ghost of Tsushima was good, well, by good golly gosh, you should check out Ghost of Yotei. Turns out the reviews that I saw, people were like, yeah, so basically, it's Ghost of Tsushima, but with like a worse story. And like, yeah, they did some different things mechanically that were nice, but also not necessary. So if you don't own this game and you want to play a game, just go play Ghost of Tsushima because it's better. It's literally reviews that I heard. Said it's basically Kill Bill. Yeah, but I heard the NPC characters were just not good. I heard it failed in a lot of regards. So that is my first game of like the 4 games that I have selected for 2026 that I'm actually excited for. Now, a game that I recently started playing because I got it on sale on Steam for $7.50 during the winter Steam sale was Solasta, Crown of the Magister. It is I believe they have a limited license from Dungeons and Dragons to use the D&D 5e system. And this was the one back in like 2021. And I know D&D 5e, most people who've been longtime D&D players enjoy 3.5 or, you know, Pathfinder 1e and the Pathfinder system that spawned off of 3.5. I know of it. I've kind of experienced a little bit of all of those. I haven't played a bunch of tabletop in my life. I've played a little bit of tabletop, and what I have played, it's a blast. You've got to have the right group, though. You definitely have the right group. But Solasta, Crown of the Magister, was on sale for $7.50, and I took it on a chance. I was like, hey, you know what? $7.50. I heard one of my favorite YouTubers talking about it on his Friday stream because he was talking about how this game, Solasta 2, was announced at the Game Awards, and he was like, oh snap. Well, it wasn't announced, it had already been announced, but they showed off this trailer, and I was like, you know what, I'm super okay for $7.50 to get a D&D style, you know, RPG, a CRPG with dice roll mechanics and all that. I'm like, yeah, I'll do it. I'll check it out. Like, it's $7.50. I am 50 hours into Solasta, Crown of the Magister. I am most like, oh, Kepler. Oh, I forgot it was gonna be, I forgot Kepler was behind it too. That's the same, those are the same guys that helped Sandfall with Expedition 33. So yeah, but I'm already 50 hours into Solasta, Crown of the Magister, and no signs of slowing down. I am most likely going to go and for tax season attempt to buy the rest of the DLC and stuff that I do not have because that game is consuming me right now. I am here with you right now, and I am sacrificing my time with Solasta, Crown of the Magister, chat. I just want you to know, okay, that I am here with you and not playing Solasta right now. And I'm having a blast with it. I freaking love it. Is it the most inspired story of all time? Absolutely not. Does it have the greatest graphics I've ever seen? Not even close. Do I enjoy the mechanics and get to make my character stronger? And does the game give me the option to fight a fight how I want to fight? Yes, it do. And I fucking love it. I don't need super shiny graphics. I don't need crazy good story. You give me a half-baked story with decent mechanics and just something that I can sink my teeth into and be like, oh, I definitely died here, but if I just work my characters and then build and build and build, and like I'll get to points in the game in my playthrough where I'm just like, cool, I'm doing good, you know, and then it's like, oh crap, now I'm dying a lot, and then it's like, oh, and then I start to figure out new battle mechanics and new tactics because it's a D&D style game, which means I have a tool set that in a lot of games you just don't have. And you get to kind of think about how you're going to work stuff, and then I go back and I do it, and I And for a while there, it feels like I'm invincible for the next, few hours. And then I get promptly put in my place by something and I go, okay, scratch my head and think about it again. But now I'm starting to get to a point where I'm just on that slow progression where it's like, okay, I'm not getting my ass handed to me, but I'm also not just walking all over everything. And I feel that's a really good balance for a game like this, that your first playthrough, you just don't quite have a whole handle on it. I think Solasta 2, if it follows up and does, and it's half as good as, it's going to be priced more, but if Solasta 2 takes what Solasta 1 did and it does it even better, I'm down. Solasta 2, and this was a game that I didn't even know about until the Game Awards and until I was watching Legendary Drops on his Friday night live stream, and he was like, he said he really liked playing Solasta, highly recommended it, and it just so happened to be on Steam that weekend when I was just like, oh, I wonder how much that game is, and it was like, right now it's $7.50, and I was like, and I'm buying it. I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like it, but it's a guy that I watch online. He recommends it highly. He seems to have the same opinions that I have about a lot of stuff, and you know what? He was right. If you guys have not played Solasta Crown of the Magister and you like dice roll style games in the vein of like Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, which actually, no, it'd be more Baldur's Gate 3 because it actually does show the dice rolls and everything like that. So you don't not like mixing between like real time and like it's not like tactical time. It's actual turn-based dice roll mechanics. Super, super fun. We are unworthy of such a sacrifice. We are mere insignificance. Oh, that's great. Royce is our favorite face scraper. Face scraper? Wait, what? What did you just call me? No. Why you gotta be like that? Anyway. So that is the second game that I am looking forward to. You're not smart enough to be a knuckle dragger. Oh, fuck. You fucker. So that's the second game that I'm looking forward to this year. So Crimson Desert, Solasta, and now a game that I talked about a few weeks ago that I really want to highlight again. This was a game that my buddy sent to me because he was watching the New Game Plus showcase that's being put on by some YouTubers like My Name is Rob, Luke Stevens, and some other people. This year, they obviously, didn't do the greatest job at it, but they're going to adjust and make it bigger and better next year, which is cool. But they did this New Game Plus showcase, and they showcased an indie title, which gotta respect the YouTubers because a lot of the big play. Now, there was a lot of indie discussed at the Game Awards, but this is this is Varen's Call from Forsaken Realms. So I looked at this and absolutely fell in love. My buddy was like, dude, I think this game is right up your alley. I have been begging for a Fable-like game. I've got Fable the Lost Chapters up there on the shelf right now. I love Fable the Lost Chapters. It's one of my favorite games of all time. This is an indie studio that is basically making a game very, very, very close to that. I love the way this looks like it could have been made in 2004. I love that they're going with these graphics here. It takes me back. It's simple. You're a mercenary. You need to go out and do mercenary stuff. Oh, hey, by the way, you definitely are going to be the hero of the world. And it's also got fun side quests. There's one where you talk to a guy in a porta potty and he tells you to go kill the gnomes. And they're garden gnomes. They're lawn ornaments. They're not real things. They're just the porcelain ornaments that you put in your yard. And you have to go hunt those down because you get the mission from a guy in a porta potty. And then you could dress up and just do all kinds of wild stuff. And obviously, I freaking love this. I saw this and I was like, this is the Fable game that I have been wanting to play. It's from an indie studio. This is, again, Forsaken Realms, Varen's Call. I do move my mouse constantly so I can keep the title of the videos up in the top corner if you guys can see that, which would be that way. But yeah, Varen's Call, this is the gameplay overview. I am very excited for this game. And I'm excited for it for a couple of reasons. One, it's an indie studio. I love supporting indie guys. Again, I just spoke about Crimson Desert. Crimson Desert, I'm actually going to put some money aside during tax season because we're getting a little back and we're going to pay some bills, and I'm going to take just a little bit of money aside and set it for Crimson Desert because I want to know. Probably going to be playing Crimson Desert, but like I said, I don't have a lot of time this year to play a lot of games. Even if I don't have time to play Varen's Call, just out of the fact that I support indie developers, and I'm probably going to watch some reviews. As long as reviews come out and they're like, look, it's an indie team and they did a pretty respectable job. And I get those opinions from people that I watch. I will probably still buy the game just to give them money in their pocket, even if, because I'm not the type, I need to go buy stuff to put it in my backlog. Fucking hate having stuff in my backlog. Shit bothers the shit out of me. It's like when you open up a video game and you see that quest. I fucking love that scene. Sorry. That's so funny. This right here, it's so funny and whimsical. If you've ever played the original Fable games, you know how just absolutely funny they can be with their humor. They don't take themselves too seriously. But I would put this in the backlog, and I don't like doing that because, again, it's like a quest. That's just a quest marker, and you're just like, I want the notification to go away. Bothers me. I hate filling up my backlog. I think it's stupid. If you have a backlog, you're spending money on something you're never gonna get to. It is a waste of money. It's a waste of time. But in order to just send these guys money, I would support this. I would absolutely just support this just to buy it. And so that way they have the money to continue developing. That's where I'm at with Forgotten Realms, Varen's Call. I love the art style. Definitely. Look, the gnome quest right here. This is so freaking, see, it's so good. And he's in a Porter John. Like, come on. I just love games like this. I have been waiting for a Fable game to come out that I can sink my teeth into for years. I saw this and I thought, good golly gosh, good golly gosh, gee willikers, Scoob. I just think this looks fantastic. And if I'm talking like that, I probably need to go smoke some dope and eat a Scooby snack. But it looks fantastic to me, man. Solastro makes me think Star Wars KOTOR was the beta test for Star Wars RPG, which was a beta test for 4th edition D&D, but was better than 4.0. I've not heard good things about 4.0. Also, Solasta, there's no R in it. Just if you're looking for it, don't put an R in there. There's no R. But no, Solasta. But those games have been around forever. It's not new. Those CRPGs are not new. They're just being revitalized because a lot of people just happen to be interested in that type of game. Turns out CRPGs are not dead the way that a lot of major industry professionals thought they were. Jersey for $5, dude. Thank you. Can confirm as a 30-year vet of role-playing games / DM, 3.5 D&D better than 5e, but 5e is easier to teach new players. That is what I've heard. I've heard 5e is more accessible to new players and allows you. But I also heard 3.5 simplified a lot of like the mathematics that you would have to do with 3. Correct? Because I've only played a little bit of 3.5, but I heard 3rd edition was just like you almost needed to run algebraic equations for every dice roll. Please talk to me on that, Jersey. Well, that's 2 games I need to get. Dice Comics. What 2 games? Name your 2 games. Guys, I want you to be commenting to me in the chat right now games you're looking forward to this year. Come on, this is a conversation. Don't just turn on a live stream on YouTube and expect the monkey on screen to talk the whole time and you have to do nothing. How dare you? You need to comment now in the chat. Also, if you're watching the VOD, I would appreciate it. I'm very sick right now, so I'm trying to ham it up a little. Although I feel like this is just me normally. I'm hamming it up for how I feel. But not really. Thaco was insane for hitting people. Okay. 2, I don't know a lot of... Well, wait, wasn't Neverwinter Nights? Didn't Neverwinter Nights make use of 2? Or was that 3? 3.5 spreadsheet RPG. 5.0 is baby's first RPG. Dance Monkey Dance. Fuck you. Fuck you. Oh, Neverwinter Nights was 3.5. Okay. I actually have Neverwinter Nights on my phone. When I travel for work and I have to stay in hotels, I literally pull up Neverwinter Nights and play it on my phone. I actually want to get the little phone controller that I can plug into my phone that's got like, and I can, yeah, it's super fun. Like, you have no idea. It's great. So yeah, I played, it was $10, dude. And the fact that these can run some of the coolest RPGs ever, like, fuck yeah. But, all right. Excuse me. And a recent contender, a game that I went from insanely negative about to insanely positive about, was in the year of our Lord 2026. We have Fable, a basically, I don't even know what this is, because it is taking, I watched this developer direct, and it is taking so many cues from the original games that I actually feel like these guys played the original games. I was very concerned about this game, and it seems like they took what people said online about it, revamped it, reworked it. It wasn't just going to be this female character. They added a character creator, decided that was the way to go. I know some people have complained about, well, the male character walks like a female. Probably because in the original design of the game, they didn't have the male, the male wiring with the male gait movements. And so when they added the character creator, they probably were just like, oh shit, they probably forgot to add that in. But after watching this developer direct, and it's what they say and how they say it, that I just thought to myself, holy crap, we're actually getting a AAA Fable game again that seems faithful to the original and kind of like a retcon, but also like a continuation of the lore of the original game. So what did they call that? It's kind of like what they did with the new God of Wars. They weren't necessarily retcons. They kind of continued the story, but they were like adjusting the continuity. There's a term for it, and I don't remember, but they're not erasing the previous continuity. They're not erasing the previous world, and they're making their own thing. They really are. They really are bringing the world retcon. But they're not changing anything from the past though, because retcon is a retroactive continuity change. They're leaving the continuity in there and the world in there. But I don't know but I don't know if they're using the old story. They're using all of the old lore for sure. But I don't know. But anyway, I went from being extremely negative on this game to thinking, oh goodness gracious, golly gosh, another girl boss game that I just don't care about. Here's the thing, I don't care about any game that has a female lead character in it. I know that they announced the 3 Lara Croft games, Tomb Raider, that's what they're called, Tomb Raider game. I don't care. I don't care. I don't play games with female leads. I just don't. If I get a game where there's a party system and there are female characters in the party, that's fine. I'm controlling the dude the entire time. It's just how I am. It's just how I'm comfortable playing games. But now that I see this, and I saw somebody say a joke, they're like, oh, well, they finally added a character creator where, you're not just playing some female, some ugly female character and the character creator changes it for you and now you're going to play it. I'm like, yeah, actually, I'm that guy. She could have been a good-looking female character, and I still would not have played this game. But they added the character creator, and after watching this, I have faith that Fable is actually going to be Fable, that Fable is going to return. It's going to be fun. Sounds like they listened to the fans. The last time I remember the fans getting listened to online? The Sonic the Hedgehog movie. And now they have 3 of them because they went online. They said, guys, we hear you. And what was it? Like a couple of weeks later, They revamped the character model for Sonic, and then everybody was like, well, shit, I kind of complained about it, so I guess I better go see the movie. And then people went and saw the movie just out of goodwill, and then all of a sudden they were like, wait a minute here, hold on, Sonic is actually a good movie. And then they were like, well, I didn't really like the human parts, and then they listened again, and then for the second and third movies just really focused on the Sonic characters instead of the human characters. I am hoping that's what they did here, because they heard, hey, Ugo female chick character, and we don't like that, and they're like, fine, here's a character creator, go. And I'm like, you know what, awesome. And then the way they talk about Albion, the way they talk about Bowerstone, the way they talk about other stuff, I mean, this combat does not look bad, doesn't look great, but I don't need awesome super flashy awesome combat in a Fable game. That looked dope. I just need serviceable combat. I can go and destroy towns and buy houses and evict people, and you get married and divorced and have children and do all this stupid stuff. I had a guy in the Discord the other day, he's like, well, do you, he's like, so you're not concerned about like some of the modern audience stuff they're gonna have? I'm like, what are you talking about, modern audience stuff? And he's like, well, you know, like super like what was it, effeminate male characters and like girl boss like female characters. I'm like, dude, the original games had that. In the very first game, your rival in the very first game was an obnoxious girl boss character who constantly made fun of you every time you saw her in the game, period. And the only time she was nice to you is when you had the option to kill her or spare her in the arena. Like, Fable has never taken itself seriously in any sense. I used to run around in a fucking pimp hat. Like, Fable has never taken itself seriously, and it does not look like it's about to take itself seriously here, and it looks like it's about to let us just... The one of the things the devs said is all of the players that they've ever talked to for the original Fable, it wasn't really the story or the combat they got, it was what you could do. Buying the houses, buying shops, being a property owner, the mini games that you could do, the job quests you could take, all of this stuff that was just fun. You can, you know, rent a house to somebody, and now they're like, oh, you can evict people now, and now, you know, we've got the morality system, which some people in a town might like you and other people in another town might not like you, and maybe you're playing a super good guy but they don't like you because you're super rich. Who knows? And I think that's awesome. I think that's an advancement on the morality system that they had in 2004. And I just am hopeful, because Fable: The Lost Chapters is one of my favorite games of all time. Is it the best game of all time? Fucking no. Do I love it because of its whimsical nature? Fucking yes. I'm sorry, telling people to follow, and then we go to the Temple of Scorn. For those of you who know, or the side quest, where you can basically, you know, go in and you can kick the owner of a House of the Women of the Night out, and then you can basically either be like, hey, women, you work for me now, or you can free that house and it can become a house for women of ill repute. And it's like, you know, for people getting, and it's like, oh my goodness, like, that's a super cool story. Stuff like that. Fable: The Lost Chapters, if you've never ever played it, play Fable: The Lost Chapters and then go back and watch this Xbox Developer Direct for Fable 2026. And I think you guys are going to start to see a lot of what I see and why I'm actually getting excited. And I don't want to get excited for a game. I want to have some reservations to be like, ooh, maybe they screw it up. But also maybe they don't, because they added a character creator. They could have stuck to their guns and just said, no, screw you guys, we're going with our female character. Because keep in mind, the first 2 years of promotional material that they put out with this stuff was that one female character that everybody was like, oh, this looks bad. Now all of a sudden they're showcasing a character creator. I think they listened. And they didn't just listen to people online. I think they actually went and they spoke to Fable players. And I think some of them are actually Fable players. And when they went, oh, other people are saying this, and we played Fable 2 and we know what they're talking about, that's what makes me think when they say we loved playing the games when we were kids, I think that they're true. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting too excited, but I am hopeful for Fable 2026. I really am. And that's my 4 games for 2026, guys. It has been God, more than, I don't know, since 2009. So, 17 years since I have been comfortable in saying there are multiple, because I bowed out of gaming for a decade. And as I've slowly been getting back into it, we were in the heart of the middle of Game Journal BS since like 2015 to now. And now all of a sudden, 2026 gives me hope for Crimson Desert. It gives me hope for Solasta 2 because I'm enjoying Solasta 1 right now. I absolutely love what Forgotten Realms Varen's Call is doing because it's a callback to old school Fable, even with the graphics. I freaking love it. And then in addition to that, the Fable creators who have been promoting just a not good, faithful looking Fable property are finally gonna give us a AAA Fable in the vein and in the respect of what was that? Lionsgate, right? Lionshead. The Lion Studio. I know the name. I'm forgetting it. You know what I'm talking about. I absolutely am excited. Those are my 4 games for the year. I think I could very easily get 1,000 hours out of just those 4 games and probably not even have to touch a game in 2027. Right? Because I don't need every game that's coming out. I don't even want to play every game that's coming out. But if I see some good reviews when these release, we're going to buy them and we're going to play them. And you know what? If you guys want to play them with me, let me know.